Tonight on the Night Team. Louisville activists, police officers, the fire department, and neighbors all gathering together for a solution to the gun violence in the metro. A call to action and what the answers are moving forward. Plus, a multi-million-dollar project in West Louisville is now complete. A century-old park is now restored.
And for many of those years, too many, it was the only city-run park specifically open for Black Louisvillians.
It's the only standing body of water for recreational use in the West End. What this moment means to Chikasaw. And later,
space flight is risky, even at its safest and even at its most routine.
2 American astronauts were supposed to be in space for 8 days. Now they're being told it'll be 8 months. The plan to get them home. The WHAS11 Night Team starts now. Since the start of the year, there have been more than 300 shooting incidents across the metro. That's according to the Louisville Metro Gun Violence Dashboard. Advocates are calling for an end to all kinds of violence right here in the city. This evening, community leaders held a peace and prayer vigil. It's our top story here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. WHAS 11's Night Team's Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Aspen Hester were at the Chikasaw Park, where attendees joined in prayer and had a call to action. Hand in hand.
God, we need you right now.
Saturday evening, a prayer vigil in the West End and a continued call to end violence in the city.
Thank you for this group that has come out today, oh God.
It's the 3rd one since a mass shooting at the Russell nightclub H2O Lounge in June that left 1 dead and 7 injured.
The community is not how it was when I was growing up, where a village helped, raise the children.
This is Jamisha Jones' first prayer vigil. She says since she was a kid, times have changed.
I remember where I could ride a bike and won't have to worry about somebody riding past with some type of violence or animosity.
Kristen Dublin agrees.
But over the years, it has been notorious about gunshots.
Violence all over the metro.
As we've been seeing over the past couple of years, that violence has been happening all through the city.
And heightened attention on Louisville nightlife.
Go out with the idea of just going out and having fun, not starting stuff.
With the recent shooting on Baxter Ave that left 2 dead.
Everybody wants to go out and enjoy themselves. Nobody wants to be dodging bullets.
Police joined the vigil at the Chikasaw Park.
We're increasing patrols in those areas where we've seen an increase in violence.
Officer Jeremy Liver says one issue is of LMPD staffing.
Problem is we are short-handed, so we get there when we can.
Only the agenda for today is prayer.
At the heart of this vigil is prayer for peace, but attendees had a strong call to action.
First, we need to find enough leaders to lead the way, and maybe enough people could follow.
Sir Friendly C organized the vigil. He called on the entire community to continue working together.
My call to action is for us to continue to communicate with each other so together we can face the ills of violence in our community.
And on Saturday night in the Chikasaw Park, the community leaned on one another for answers. In Louisville, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side. A report of a real shooter was made during an active shooter drill at the Kentucky Air National Guard base at the Louisville Airport this morning. No shooter was found, and the airport and base returned to normal operations. Officials say someone made the report just after 9 this morning during a training drill. While base officials believed the report was not real and just a result of the exercise, they could not verify the details and called LMPD out of an ambulance out of caution. The area was cleared by both LMPD and the National Guard. No additional reports were made, no shots were fired, and no one was injured during the incident. Base operations returned to normal at around 2:30 this afternoon. Jamie Knoll, the former Clark County Sheriff, plans to plead guilty to crimes. That's according to the special prosecutor on his case. Knoll originally pleaded not guilty to more than 31 felonies ranging from tax evasion to malfeasance in office. Around the same time that announcement was made, a former and a current Clark County Council member were taken into custody in connection to the case.
We were there as Clarksville police officer and Clark County Council member John Miller turned himself in and walked into jail. Court documents show Miller is under investigation for his voting record in the Clark County Council. Lead investigator Jeffrey Heron says Miller voted to approve hundreds of thousands of dollars to go towards New Chapel EMS, all while its CEO Jamie Knoll was giving the council member thousands of dollars in benefits.
John L. Miller was arrested earlier today on one count of official misconduct, which here in the state of Indiana is a level 6 felony.
Former Clark County Council member and one of Knoll's mistresses, Brittany Faree, has also been charged in connection to the case. Knoll is expected in court Monday for his change of plea hearing. Meanwhile, Utica Township Fire Protection District is now suing the company Knoll founded, New Chapel Fire and EMS. The board is trying to stop the sale of equipment after they made the decision to end their contract with the nonprofit. New Chapel, who will end 911 services this week, is selling off excess equipment. However, Utica's fire board is worried that equipment was bought with taxpayer money and therefore should remain in the public's hands. In the complaint, the fire board claims they were paying New Chapel for years of service it did not receive and is asking the judge to put an injunction in place to prevent the auctioning off of any more equipment. Kentucky has hit the budget targets in order to cut the income tax rate for 2026. The final budget numbers mean that the tax rate will lower from 4% to 3.5%. House Bill 8 passed into law in 2022, and this created a mechanism to gradually lower Kentucky's individual income tax rate by 0.5% until it is eliminated. State Budget Director John Hicks told state legislators that Kentucky ended the 2024 fiscal year with a surplus of just more than $2 billion. This brings Kentucky's Budget Reserve Trust Fund to $5 billion. State legislators will still need to pass a bill next legislative session to approve the cut. Sports betting numbers are out, and they've blown any prediction the state had out of the water. The state brought in $2 billion, and now we're looking at where that money goes in the state. So $900,000 went toward Problem Gambling Assistance Fund. That helps employ addiction hotlines and recovery in the state. $875,000 went to salaries and benefits for employees, but the majority of the total, $34 million, went into the state's pension fund.
They did not far exceed my expectations. I was probably one of the only ones here that said that we are grossly underestimating the impact this is going to have, and we're at almost double of what we were estimating, and still haven't finished the full year. And to answer the senator's question back here, we're a week and a half away from the strongest period of sports wagering activity, which is football season.
The Kentucky Horse Racing and Gaming Corporation is supposed to be completely self-funded by 2026. Today, a Louisville Addiction Recovery Center called A Vision for You rededicated its Story Avenue campus after one of their alumni. On what would have been the birthday of Chase Dobb, A Vision for You unveiled the new Chase M. Dobb Center. The center says the dedication honors Chase's unwavering commitment to our community and his vision for a brighter future. They call him a beacon of hope and inspiration. His family says the rededication is a testament to the person Chase was.
He came here from jail, and he chose it himself. And I think he really liked the Christian aspect of it. That was one of the main reasons he chose it. And he got very involved.
Chase really was a very impactful person. You couldn't meet him without falling in love with him and him having a huge impact in your life. He was the funniest, wildest kid you've ever met. Yeah. And he came into A Vision for You with a plan to get clean and to help others get clean. And I think this is a testament to how well he did that.
The community joined together today to celebrate Chase's life and the legacy he leaves behind. The $2.5 million project to reconstruct the pond in Chikasaw Park is now complete. The pond opened today with a celebratory canoe launch. The restoration project began a year ago, and today the pond is back open for the community for fishing, kayaking, and canoeing. The 61-acre park has been open for 100 years. For many of those 100 years, it was the only city-run park open for Black Louisvillians.
This park needs to feel like a park that you see in any other part of town. I can't imagine 100 years ago when this park was specifically designed for the use of, as we were called then, Negroes, or today African Americans. I can't imagine that this is where we've come to in this park, and I want to say thank you for being inclusive of what this area needs, but not only what we need, but what we want.
This fall, Kentucky Fish and Wildlife plans to stock the pond with fish. It was Black Men's Wellness Day today at the Norton Healthcare Sports and Learning Center. The free community offered health screenings, wellness resources, and more. Black men in America as a group have the lowest life expectancy in the country. High blood pressure and hypertension are among the top reasons. Our Eric King has a series of pieces highlighting the importance of primary care in an effort to prevent some of the illnesses and diseases that have proven to be the top killers of Black men. The Color of Health is streaming on our digital channel, WHAS11 Plus, and our YouTube channel. Air Devils Inn, the local dive bar across from Bowman Field Airport, turns 90 today. The bar opened in August of 1934 and started as a pilot bar, which is where the name Air Devils came from. Air Devils Inn was one of the first bars to host a bike night and held them every Thursday for years. One of the owners of Air Devils Inn broke down the history of the building, saying it didn't start initially as a bar.
It was a schoolhouse. It was built in 1876 as a schoolhouse called Maple Grove School. There, if you look at old pictures, there's trees all around it. Taylorsville Road was dirt in 2 lanes, and Bowman Field was open.
The weekend celebration wraps up tonight with the official birthday bash with local bands playing.